Hi, good morning, friends. Greetings from Talreso, Malaysia. My name is Joe Moraes. We are a HR consultancy firm. Our series, Putting the Tea in the Truth, continues. Today, I have with me a very beautiful person, Miss Malad, Managing Director of Hearts and Minds, whom I have known for the past 20 years. Malad is very well known for her ability to touch people's hearts, a staunch advocate of matters of the heart. Today, we are blessed to have Malad to talk to us about emotional intelligence, a subject that is particularly of a lot of interest to me myself. Malad, over to you for a few words before we start the session.
Thank you, Joe. You've said all the nice things, so now I need to keep up to all the nice things that you've said to me on screen.
Indeed.
I'll do my best. You know, on one hand, you've said very nice things, and on the other hand, you've advertised that the tea in your organization is the truth. So we'll have to find a peaceful combination for that. Yeah. So thanks, Joe.
Okay, so it's an interesting topic, something that has always kind of intrigued me in my thoughts about what really is what is the meaning of emotional intelligence? What does it actually mean? Everybody talks about intelligence, IQ, right? Everybody knows, you can measure your IQ and you can become this. You are this, major intelligent person. But what really is emotional intelligence? Probably downplayed in many organizations. And I strongly feel that emotional intelligence is not only good in organizations, it's also good in your personal life, right? Now, maybe I would start off with Malad. Can you please share with us what does EQ mean in today's work context in the service industry specifically?
Okay. And work context and service industry. The reason I need to write this down is I get so excited and I'll talk what I want to say. Right. So defining emotional intelligence, I think if you Google emotional intelligence, there'll be a whole load of stuff that tells you what emotional intelligence is. I'm not going to go there. Uh, the very quick definition that I usually like to give is what we all understand and we can remember and use on a daily basis, right? So if you talk about IQ, intellectual quotient, we look at some people and say, oh, this fella is so intelligent, right? This person is so intelligent. And we usually refer to how smart they are, all right? Which is IQ. Now, what is IQ? I've not done any IQ test because I dare not look at the results, right? But typically, a smart person is, or a person with high IQ, he or she is able to process logical information, first accurately, second quickly, right? So for me, emotional intelligence is the same thing. Are you able to process your emotion, first accurately, correctly, second quickly? You need to be correct first before you can be quick. How can you be quick? The more you practice, the better you become, right? And of course, when we talk about emotional intelligence, so how do you know? I mean, we need words to label so that we all talk about the same thing, right? So in emotional intelligence, we talk about the 5 pillars in hearts and minds. Now, what are the 5 pillars? One is self-awareness. Now, self-awareness is very much, do I know who I am?
Right.
Right. And this is a very big space. Without this, I don't think you can have any other factors, right? I call it pillars, right? Because sometimes you can see people who seem to have other pillars but don't have self-awareness. Now, and this is critical because very often you can run a test on everybody and say, I want to know what's your emotional intelligence. All
Right.
right. And with Google, with the number of courses that teaches you how to fake it until you make it,
Mm,
I think, yeah, right. There's very little value for authenticity in the real world.
right.
It's an aspiration. We all want it, but we won't pay the price for it.
Right.
Yeah. So the self-awareness. Do I know who I am? Right now, who I am, unfortunately, is not a state of perfection. right? So who
Mhm.
I am is a whole identity issue, right? Which means that I come with a set of strengths and I come with a set of what other people call it weakness,
Right.
right? But I call it muscles, unused muscles, right? Your weakness are the muscles that didn't you didn't pay importance to because probably it was irrelevant and probably it didn't bring about negative consequences,
Right.
right? So that's self-awareness. And then
Mhm.
you have self-management. Now what is self-management? Now that I know who I am, what do I do with what I know about me, right? So self-management is really, for me, is optimizing your strength. Yeah,
Mhm.
you optimize your strength. And I'm not too sure about minimizing weakness, but I think it is to make sure your weakness doesn't impact your results and relationship, right? And how do you do that, right? While Gallup research will show that the most people with optimal performance, I'm trying not to use the word successful here,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
I get it.
People with optimal life, which is optimal performance in your own way of looking at what is optimal for you. Because what is optimal for me may not be optimal for you. Because your life and my life is different, right? So I think we need to know what makes my life optimal, what makes my life worth living, right? And that's what I call optimal life, right? And then there's with optimal life comes optimal performance, right? I feel, I believe, I know I have been my best today. That's optimal performance, right? And this optimal performance shows up in two areas: results, that is measured, right? How many phone calls I have made, how
Right.
many people I've kept in touch, right? And the relationships that you have. Again, some people look at their relationships in terms of quantity, some people look at it from a qualitative perspective. For me, at the end of the day, it is the relevance of your own life. So, your awareness, then your self management, how do I
Yeah.
bring myself to life, right? Then there's social awareness, right? Now, what is social awareness? Now, if you're in touch with yourself, you would be able to be in touch with people. Now, so if I am physically in a space with you, if you're sad, right, your sadness I can connect with your sadness.
Right.
But if I've never felt sadness ever in my life, there would be an energy that I connect with, but I wouldn't know how to label it.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
for me, social awareness, right? And then you have relationship management. So if I feel that Joe is sad, the first question I'll ask is there's common language. Hey Joe, how are you? And and Joe, if I know Joe say, yeah, I'm good, right? But then I feel like, oh, there is a bit of a mismatch. I'll say, Joe, I don't know why, I feel something is not really right with you, right?
Mhm.
I'm confirming. And then you might say, yeah, actually, I'm not feeling great, right? Now, the question is, Joe says he's sad about something. Now, then I need to know what is my best response, my best authentic response. If Joe is sad, and sometimes I cannot understand what Joe is telling me because I've never experienced that in my life,
Mhm.
right? So you will find that empathy, all right, falls into the social awareness and relationship management quadrant. But a lot of people can empathize intellectually,
Right.
but not many people can truly emotionally empathize. R-
Okay. I might have just a question there, Malad.
Okay.
So when we spoke about self-awareness, which I think you put it so clearly about, those are some of your strengths and some of the areas that you might want to improve as an individual. So that will then tell you who you are, right? Uh, and a simple exercise, but I think it takes a lot of practice to really get it right, I guess. Then comes self-management, knowing who you are, what your emotional strengths and weaknesses are. You now need to start managing that part. Would that make sense, right? And then coming to social awareness. So social awareness, I guess, is now I know I'm a very hot tempered person, right? There is this person who is going to really tick me off. I need to manage myself even beforehand, and tell myself I'm not going to lose it. Will that make sense with social awareness?
Yes and no. Yes and no, because I think if you're just talking about emotional strength, that's fine because your emotions are your energy, right? So what are emotions? Emotions are the energies that drive us to act in a particular way. For
Right.
example, if you piss me off, right? Let's say you make a male chauvinistic statement, let's say,
Mm,
all right?
yeah.
Now, if you make that statement, it might evoke first irritation, maybe anger, even rage, depending
Mm,
on a scale of feminism. Where am I? Right?
correct. Yes.
Right. So you might say something that is really normal. Ah, yeah, that must be a female driver.
Yeah,
Correct.
the most common thing.
The most common thing, which we women also say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's you make a statement. Oh, that must be. I'm with you. You know, we're going for lunch, and then someone is taking a long time to come out from the car park, and say that one. I tell you must be a female or a woman driver, right? Now, so if I am high on feminism, and I'm thinking like, how can you say that? Right now, first is that I'm angry, right? So I'm angry now, and that anger will fuel a particular energy to attack you,
Yeah. Yeah.
correct? And
Yeah.
I will say things like, Joe, I never realized that you're a real chauvinist, right?
Right.
Right? And that might evoke anger in you because now you might feel I have disrespected you. And if you
Mm,
follow that energy, you will attack me back.
right. Right. Okay.
Right? So emotions has an energy and it makes you want to do certain things. For example, if you're sad, right? So in relationships, right, I always say this, I love people who are fighting because the relationship is alive.
Mm,
Right? In fact, we're going to talk about service. In customer service, we pay a lot more attention to customers who are angry. We have modules for managing angry customer. We don't have modules to manage customers who are hurting, customers who
mm,
are disappointed with you, customers who are sad with you. We don't. Now, why? Because when people are hurt, especially sad, they retract from the relationship. They become quiet. They just give up. So you are not experiencing losses because your chances of winning a sad customer is lower compared to winning an angry customer. In fact, in service, we say when your customer is complaining, that's the best time to win over the loyalty of your customer.
yeah. Okay. Because I've
Right,
been a very angry customer many, many times.
right.
And yes, you're right. At an emotional stage, people say we might make a wrong decision or say something wrong. But you're also right when I listen to what you're saying. When a person is emotionally charged, is also the time that you can actually impress something upon them.
Yeah. So when you're
Okay.
emotionally charged, so emotions are energy. I think we need to give what is due to emotions. It's not all about you, right? But you also must understand. Sometimes you get charged faster. Yesterday I was so happy to go and buy a power bank, right?
Yeah.
Because my daughter has been, hijacking mine. So I decided, okay, it's all right. I'll go and get my own right now. And when I went to buy a power bank, the guy asked, do you want a normal charge or a quick charge?
Hmm. You mean there
Right?
are such things? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I just found out yesterday. I said, so what's the difference? So you get charged very quickly, right? And so we must also understand sometimes there are certain buttons in us that is a quick charge.
Hmm.
We get charged on certain issues that is close to our heart. I call them values,
Right. Okay.
right? So when people hit at you and you get emotionally charged, it usually means that they've hit at a value that is very close to your heart, which is why race and religion
Mm.
can charge most people up because it is part of our identity, right? And people use it against us to divide and conquer.